Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Syamim binti Ismail and I will introduce about introduction, what is Pedigree method and what is Pedigree record.
My name is Nurul Farhani binti Azwani and I will talk about the procedure of Pedigree method, Pedigree based on serial number selected and application of Pedigree method.
My name is Nur Azra Shahira binti Norizan, so I will explain about the merits, demerits and also the achievement of Pedigree methods.
Let's talk about introduction. Mass and prevalent selection cannot be used to separate population F2, F3 from crosses. It is because mass selection relies on the observable performance of individual for one or more traits. In segregating generation, the expression of trait is highly variable due to genetic recombination. It is difficult to accurately assess the performance of individual when there is a wide range of genetic combination. Also, identification and propagation of individuals that are homozygous for desirable traits. In segregation generation, individuals are typically heterozygous for various traits and achieving homozygosity through self-pollination or mating with similar individuals is not straightforward. So that's why segregating generation are handled using pedigree. What is pedigree? Pedigree is genetic exchange of self-pollinated organisms by selecting superior genotype from segregating generation and keep correct and sterile record. Furthermore, pedigree method is a fundamental approach employed in both genetics and genealogy to trace the inheritance of trait, characteristic, or disease within family across multiple generations. This method relies on the construction and analysis of pedigree chart, which visually represent the familial relationship and the transmission of specific trait or genetic information. Can figure out if two people are connected through their ancestry and share some genes. Pedigree record refers to comprehensive documentation of individual ancestry, capturing information about their parents, grandparents, and so on. Pedigree records are used in various fields including geology, biology, and animal breeding. In the context of breeding program, a pedigree record is crucial tool for selecting individuals to breed from. It provides information about the genetic relationship and traits of interest within a population, allowing breeders to make informed decisions in order to maximize genetic gain and avoid breeding dispersion.
Okay, now I will talk about the procedure of Pedigree method. As you can see here, in year 1, the selected parents are crossed to produce single or complex cross. In year 2, F1 seeds are space planted to produce maximum number of seeds. In year 3, F2 seeds are space planted for selection. Crossing related varieties reduces selection, while breeding for quantitative traits requires a larger number of F2 plants. Selection is based on inherited traits. In year 4, the F3 and F4 individual plant progenies are space planted, with selection from within and between the progeny row. If two or more progenies are similar, only one is retained. F5 progenies are planted in multi-rows for visual comparison, with superior progenies harvested as homozygous and segregated progenies discarded unless outstanding segregants are present. In year 6 until 7, generation F5 and F6 will establish family progeny rows. Select individual plants to advance each generation. In year 8, generation F7 conduct preliminary yield trials, select individual plants to advance. Finally, for year 9 until 11, the generation F8 until F10 will conduct advanced yield trials with more replication and overlocation in years. Then, the cultivar release. Okay, this is the simplest of procedures that I said just now. You can read and understand it. Okay, then I want to talk about the pedigree based on serial number. The cross numbers are numerical codes that indicate the year of creation and the serial number of the cross, such as 11 made in 1979, with the first two digits representing the year. Individuals in the F3 generation are assigned a serial number, followed by those in the subsequent generation, preceded by the serial number of the derived plants. Thus, using this method, each progeny can be traced back to its originating F2 individual without consulting previous year record. For example, you can see it on those tables. In both the systems, these progenies are assigned a different serial number when they become homozygous and are included in preliminary yield trials. Application of Pedigree method. It is the most commonly used method for selection from segregating generations of crosses of self-pollinated crops. It is suitable for improving specific characteristics such as disease resistance, plant height, maturity time, and yield. It is often used to correct some specific weaknesses of an established variety.
Next, about the merits of pedigree method. First, since a large number of plants are selected, adaptation of the original variety is not changed. Second, record keeping is slow, tedious, time-consuming, and expensive. It places pressure on resources. Seedling and harvesting are tedious operating. However, modern research plot equipment for planting and harvesting are versatile to allow complex operating and record taking to be conducted, making pedigree selection easier to implement and hence widely used. Large plant population can now be handled without much difficulty. Next, it is conducted on homozygous and heterogeneous population and no crossing is done to generate new variability. So extensive and prolonged yield trials are not necessary. This reduces time and cost in developing new variety. Lastly, mass selection retains considerable genetic variability in the new variety. Therefore, another round of mass selection after a few years will be effective in improving the variety in future. For demerits, first, varieties developed by mass selection show variation and is not as uniform as pure line varieties. The improvement through mass selection is generally less than that could be achieved through pure line selection. Second, in absence of progeny test, it is not possible to determine if the selected plant are homozygous, even in SPC. Some degree of cross-pollination does occur and some of the selected plant may be heterozygous. It is also known if the phenotypic priority of selected plant is due to environment or genotype. Third, varieties developed by mass selection are more difficult to identify than pure line varieties in seed certification program. Lastly, mass selection utilizes the variability already present in a population or variety and does not generate new variability. Lastly, the achievement of pedigree method in rice crop, wheat crop, chickpea crop, and pea crop. For rice crop, we have varieties Krishna, Ratna, Sabamati, and Padma. For the wheat crop, we have HD22281, HD2285, HD2380, and ND2402. For the chickpea, we have T1, T2, T3, and T5. And lastly, in pea crop, we have Pan Mata 2, Jawahar Mata 1, and Jawakar Mata 4. So that's all from us about the pedigree method. Thank you.